Constitution's just a ghost in chains. Freedom slipping down the drains. Rise up, break the chains. No billionaire should run the game. Lying, scheming, stealing rights. If we don't fight, we lose tonight. End of democracy comes in waves. Justice buried in shallow graves. Stand up loud, don't be the slaves. Unmake the cage, unmake the cage. Tick-tock, time's running out. They're burning the laws, there ain't no doubt. Oh no, America, what you gonna do? Rights getting burned and they're coming for you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes, it's that time. It's that time again. It's me. Hi. I'm back. Guys, we got some crazy shit going on right now. Let's just dive into it. We're a little bit behind. I just wanted to give everybody a minute to know I was heading in here. Let's just dive right in. So let's talk about CPAC for a minute. If you don't know what CPAC is, it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big conference that they do, right? So it's the Conservative Political Action Conference. Okay. It's an annual political conference that's held by the American Conservative Union. It's known as the largest and most influential gathering of conservatives in the world. Okay. I'm just fixing my picture here. This is there. I don't know. It's just moving it around. Okay. That's better. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay. It's a prominent event for conservative activists and officials hosting speakers and panels on various political topics, mostly far right, uber conservative shit. Okay. This year's speakers included J.D. Vance, Elon Musk. CPAC is also known, which I did not know this, guys, I'm today's years old, for showcasing the current political agenda of the Republican Party with events like this year's conference in Poland, which is taking place right now. Okay. So this is their website. They give you all the things. You can go to CPAC 2026. Just wonderful. They give you all of the latest, whatever. Okay. Why is this significant? We're here on Notes from Poland. Okay. This is from a couple days ago. All right. This is actually, I'm sorry, March 24th. American Conservative CPAC conference to be held in Poland for the first time. Okay. CPAC, a major conference organized by the American Conservative Union, will be held in Poland this year for the first time. Oh, that was on your screen. It's on mine. We just announced CPAC in Poland later this year. Schlapp, he's the head of CPAC, okay, to collect an award from conservative broadcaster Republica. So Poland is giving American conservatives awards. That's something of note, okay? Whoa. Nora, don't mess up your whole thing here, okay? CPAC has been held annually in the United States since 1974, 2 years before I was born, okay, and is attended by leading conservative activists. The keynote address at this year's event was given, of course, by Bumpity Trumpet a Bump, who also briefly met with, Duda from Poland, who was at CPAC. Okay, you see how these things are like rolling together here? Since 2017, CPAC has regularly held conferences abroad. I did not know that, including in Japan, Brazil, Argentina, South Korea, Australia, and Mexico. The only other European country to host CPAC has been Hungary. It's like they're trying to get the old block back together. It's so weird, like going to Poland and Hungary. Like, I just don't, I'm sensing a theme. Okay. So right now, I've paused it when she came out. But right now, Kristi Noem is live speaking in Poland. We're going to go to this live. We're going to dive in. We're not even going to mess around with it. Here we go. Okay. I'm going to get past the music here.
I've learned in my life.
Here we go.
And I want to talk to you about them today. Does that sound fine? Number one is God. I want to talk to you about faith and what it means and what it brings you for the value system that you embrace and what it does for you during challenging times.
First thing out of her mouth, God.
The thing I want to talk to you about is freedom. And I'm going to share with you a few of my own personal stories of how I've had to fight for freedom in my life and what it has meant for the people that I've had the opportunity to lead, but also how it has helped our president make America great again.
Here we go.
The third thing that I want to talk to you about is how leadership has consequences. It matters who's in charge. I have watched over the years as socialists and people that are just like this mayor out of Warsaw, that is an absolute train wreck of a leader, have destroyed our countries because they have led by fear.
So the mayor out of
Fear to
Warsaw
control
is
people.
the
And they've
liberal
used fear
candidate.
to promote an agenda that is not what liberty is about, that is not what freedom is about. So that's what I want to talk to you about today.
Listen to the usurping of language here,
This is
guys.
my very first trip to Poland. I love it. I want to thank you for inviting me to come here and be at CPAC Poland. I want to thank my dear friend, Matt Schlapp, his beautiful, lovely family, and Mercy, all the work that they do. Would you give them a round of applause for me, too, for all that they've done?
Now, guys, you didn't see the room earlier. It looks like an
Now, I am
enormous
here
space. There's
because of the
maybe 100
generosity, the
people here.
privilege, and the direction of
Maybe.
our great president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. He has allowed me to be here with you today.
What does this have to do with her job?
Now, President Donald J. Trump was here 8 years ago with a message for Poland. I don't know if you remember what that message was. But that question that he asked all of you was, he said, there is a fundamental question. Does the West have the will to survive? Do we have the confidence in our values to meet our challenges head on? Does the West have the courage to respect our civilians, to make sure that we have strong borders, to preserve our civilizations, and to protect ourselves from those who would destroy us? Does
From
the West
who?
have the will to survive? Well, listen, President Trump knows that the West has the will to survive because of you, because of Poland, because how you met challenges head on and you've stood up for freedom. And you've gone through those difficult times and led by example. And he's incredibly proud of you and the partnership and the alliance that we have with the people of this great country.
Wait for the applause.
Poland has not just survived, you have led by example. When other weak European leaders have caved in and allowed migration in that's destroyed their civilizations, their public safety, that has not happened here in Poland. You have enforced your borders. You have protected who comes into your country, enforced your visa programs. You've done good work to make sure that this country has a different story. But you
Translation, not letting any immigrants in who are escapees from Gaza, from Ukraine. You know, good job, Poland. Don't let the riffraff in.
have much more to do. And you are threatened with a leader who is on the ballot who would take all of that protection away from you, who would open you up to much of the experiences that America had to live through under our last president, Joe Biden. Now, I know many of you sitting there today maybe don't know anything about me. You're wondering, who is this woman standing in front of us today? Well, I will tell you that I'm just a farmer. I'm a rancher. I'm a wife and a mother and a grandmother.
She's a farmer, guys.
And growing up, all I ever wanted to do was to work with my dad. My dad was a cowboy. Have you ever heard of a John Wayne? My dad was like John Wayne.
Have you ever heard of John Wayne, guys? Because that's the only cowboy anybody should know from anywhere in America. There's no one else who ever did anything good in the era of cowboys.
Was like him.
He wasn't even a real
The way
cowboy.
that he woke up us children in the morning was by yelling up the stairs, "Get up! More people die in bed than anywhere else." I didn't know if that was true or not, but we got up and we went to work. But he was a very, very tough man, but he also taught us about freedom and liberty, and that the government doesn't give us our rights, that our rights come from God, and that they must be protected and defended, and that we're only one generation away from extinction, which is part of a quote that our great president.
So her dad told her whole life she was one generation from extinction, except for, however, she's a grandmother. So clearly none of that came true, yet she's still going to say it over and over.
Ronald Reagan once said, to remind our people of how precious our country is. My prayer for all of you is that you don't forget how precious your country is, how it's worth fighting for every single day.
Yeah, fight for Poland, guys.
Now, you have faced challenges. You fought off communism during World War II. You fought off not just Germany, but also Russia, and you were free because of that, because your ancestors and those who came before you met.
Germany wasn't communism. That was Nazi socialism, and it was not even, no.
Those challenges head on and believed that you and your children and your grandchildren deserved a better future.
I mean, why am I surprised she doesn't know the difference between communism and socialism? She doesn't even know what habeas corpus is.
This last November, America made a choice. We had lived through 4 years of hell, of government control and corruption.
Does anyone else have a t-shirt that says I survived hell for 4 years under Biden? Did we actually walk through hell? Is that an accurate description of the 4 years under Biden?
and a president who was not transparent and allowed an invasion over our southern border.
See this word transparent, guys? This is very important because every time one of these conservative fucks is confronted about Trump holding the crypto, soiree or the deals with all the real estate around the world, including the UAE and the plane, they say, oh, well, it's not corrupt because he's doing it out in the open, right? He's doing it out in the open, so it can't be corrupt. Not like Biden, who did it behind closed doors. Trump is doing it out in front, so it's better.
Thousands and thousands of dangerous criminals came into our country. Hundreds of known terrorists infiltrated our country and our communities. And our families were murdered and raped and victimized.
No.
Arrested, released again by his administration.
No.
To continue the fear agenda that he was trying to promote and to allow political power to be in his hands, but not in the people any longer.
Oh,
now, listen, in my state where I serve,
what?
I ended up in government because of taxes. My dad was killed in an accident when he was just 49 years old. I was married. I was 22 years old and 8 months pregnant when my dad passed away in an accident suddenly, and I found out from the federal government that I owed taxes on 55% of everything we owned needed to be turned over to the federal government. If you can imagine farmers and ranchers who have land and cattle and machinery, but we didn't have any money in the bank, suddenly being told that 55% of everything that you owned needed to go to the federal government.
So your dad died suddenly. Sorry, RIP to your pops, but he was bad at money management, and that's the government's problem? It sounds like your dad wasn't good at business. Like, that's not an American, that's your dad problem.
It made me angry. So that's how I got involved in government and politics. I just started showing up. I just started going to meetings and telling my story about how that's not what America was about and that we needed to reform with the help of President Trump. Got elected as governor of the great state of South Dakota. I don't know if you've ever heard of Mount Rushmore, but we are the home of Mount Rushmore.
Have you heard of Mount Rushmore? The big mountain that we stole from Native Americans and blew it up and shit. One of their holy sites. It's amazing. Please go to it.
But led my state during COVID pandemic. And when I led my state, we were the only state that never once shut down. We never once mandated anything.
Yeah, there's like, how many people live in North Dakota? Not that many people. So good job.
We didn't close a single business. We didn't close a single school. I told my people that I would trust them, that I would let them use personal responsibility to make the best decisions for them and for their families.
And how many people died in North Dakota? How many people? Let's just go. I gotta look now. I gotta fact check some of this stuff. Population North Dakota 2020. So she had 765,309 people to manage. Okay. Less than 1 million people. Los Angeles has more people, guys. Okay. Okay. So 2,232 people died in North Dakota from COVID. 292,065 cases. Here were the hot spots. Here's how she managed it, guys. You know, that's so she didn't shut anything down. Hella people died and got COVID. Percentage wise, that's a huge percentage out of her whole state to have 2,000 out of 700,000 people die. Let's see. That's yeah, that's almost 3%. That's not good. That's not good. You know, that's nothing to brag about. Just because you had less people doesn't mean you did a better job. Anyway.
I found that this small state in the middle of the great country, the United States of America, could lead. We didn't just lead on representing freedom and letting people exercise personal responsibility. We also led on many other issues.
Except for personal responsibility, except for if you're gay or trans or, you know, a woman.
Other states were raising taxes. We were the only state that cut taxes. We also paid off all of our debts. We are a state that was debt-free and did not take on any encumbrances and burdens because of what was happening on the worldwide economic stage. We also went forward and were the first state to ban TikTok as controlled by China when it was. And we banned
It's still controlled by China.
evil foreign governments and China from owning any farmland in our state.
Evil foreign governments and China. They're so bad, they're not even in that category.
Every time we took a stand on these conservative principles, other states followed. Others followed the example that we had. They fought the fight after they knew and they saw us win. That is what we need Poland to do now. We need you to elect the right leader.
Why do we think Poland is so key right now? What kind of weird alliance are we doing? Right? We're battling with Putin now, and now we're trying to get to be buddy-buddy with Poland and Hungary. Guys, hello, he's playing the Adolf playbook right now. What was the first place that Adolf took over in World War II? Poland. That's where the camp started, was the ghettos of Warsaw. Like, holy. Guys, we are literally in 1933 right now. Please pay attention.
You will be the leaders that will turn Europe back to conservative values. By who you elect as the leader of this country, you will open the eyes of the public of every...
And notice when they cut to this enormous crowd to see Kristi today, people are wearing MAGA hats. They've given them American flag hats. Like, this is propaganda 101.
Everyone throughout the world as to what the possibilities are when our two countries stand united for freedom. Stand united for...
See how few people there are, guys? Like I said, there's about 100 people here. Maybe. Look at all that empty space here. Empty space. No one up top here. And they just look at all the space in between the tables. And she's sitting here at this big ass stage talking to like 100 people right now. You might think, oh, that's not a big deal. This is still, right? Still, we're in a foreign country right now espousing authority over people's morals.
For our people, and know that God gives people our rights, not some unelected or elected bureaucrat who just wants power. Now, since President Trump has been in office, he has given me the job of being his Department of Homeland Security Secretary.
Yeah, so why the fuck are you in Poland?
Most people don't necessarily know what my job is. They wonder what that is because the last Department of Homeland Security Secretary didn't show up for the job. So let me tell you what my responsibility is. My responsibility is to secure our homeland. It is everybody that lives in the United States, goes out of the United States or comes in. Every product that is in our country that would go out of our country or come into our country. We are also the cybersecurity agency of our nation. Anything that is communicated, sold, or transpired on the internet is under my jurisdiction. It is our mission to secure the American homeland with...
Marcin, can I ask you a question, Marcin, since you're clearly from Poland? Let me ask you a question. What is your country's view of World War II and when Adolf came in and took over your country by force and, you know, rounded up Jewish people and slammed them in ghettos in Warsaw? Like, what do you guys teach about that? What do you guys feel about that? How do you feel about, Adolf 2.0 in the form of Trump and CPAC and conservatives rolling through your country to try and like redo it with like an American flair to it? How do you guys feel about that? Like, let's be real, you know?
Honor and with integrity, and we do that every single day. And the reason that I asked President Trump for this job is because I knew it would be his #1 priority. We were, before President Trump was the president, being invaded over our southern border by dangerous criminals that wish to destroy our country. And the president's directive was that we should have a secure border, that we should know who comes into our country, and that Americans were the ones who deserved the rights and the freedoms our Constitution promised. And on day one, he told me to get the border closed. And today, encounters at our border are down 93% since he has been in office.
I don't even know if that's real. She just says things.
We have deported hundreds of thousands of people that don't belong in the United States of America, that have broken our laws.
Also have deported Americans and are detaining Americans unlawfully with no just cause.
That have violated the people that live in our communities. Our people are safer now because of President Trump's leadership.
No.
They have their homes back. They have their communities back.
No.
They can walk down their streets safely and take their kids to school because now we know that the individuals that are in our country love our country and want to be a part of its future and a part of its history.
We have to, guys, did you know that? It's a requirement in America to love America. We have to love it. Not just like it, not just think, hey, cool beans. We have to love it. If you don't love America, get the fuck out. I would say that every person who is speaking out about this ridiculous regime that we are in the middle of, who's trying to right this ship, we love America. You know?
Donald Trump is a strong leader for us, but you have an opportunity to have just as strong of a leader in peril if you make him the leader of this country. You can be that shining city on a hill that the rest of Europe and the world will watch and know how strong you are, how free you are, because you've elected the right leader that will protect it and defend it and ensure that every individual is treated the same and has equal rights as afforded to them. Now, long before President Trump came into office, there was another Polish leader that gave a powerful speech that I want to reference, and it was Pope John Paul II. You know, on his
We're gonna quote John Paul. Okay, here we go.
first return back to this country, he came into Victory Square. If you remember, he gave that phenomenal speech.
How are we going to make the Pope sound bad? Let's
he gave
do
that
it.
phenomenal speech to over 1 million Poles about what was important. And people expected him to give a political speech or something about government.
What?
Instead, this is what he said when he
A Pope is not political. That's the whole fucking point.
returned back to Poland. He said, Lord, send forth your spirit and renew the face of the earth. He brought us back to our faith. And what was remarkable about the entire exchange is that the Polish people started to chant, "We want God. We want God. We want God."
Is that any of that true?
We are at a point in our history where we will find out what our values are. We will find out what
Marcine, honey, that is not, you got to come back to reality, honey. That is not facts. Get off of Russian propaganda news. Okay. That is absolutely 100,000,000% not facts. And why do I know that's not facts? Because in Oregon, we have a lot of Ukrainian refugees who escaped with, the fucking clothes on their back. Okay. So yeah, don't come over here with your propaganda bullshit. Like, honestly, that's insane. That's just what you're saying is insane. Okay. And to say that not that many Jewish people died, please don't. Please, let's not do that. Okay. Poland was invaded. It was irrevocably changed by the war. And yeah. America rules your country. Well, that sounds like a personal problem. I'm sorry for you, because we kind of suck right now, like a lot. But like literally, let's not try that bullshit this morning. It's too early for that.
faith means, how much we trust each other, but also how much we're willing to fight for the freedom of the next generation that we are blessed to have in front of us today. If you elect a leader that will work with President Donald J. Trump, the Polish people will have an ally strong that will ensure.
So it has to be somebody who will work with Donald Trump, not somebody who would oppose him. Uh-oh, hot dog.
That you will be able to fight off enemies that do not share your values. You will have strong borders and protect your communities and keep them safe and ensure that your citizens are respected every single day. You will continue to have a U.S. presence here.
Oh, we're going to keep our military there if you guys are nice to us and elect the guy Trump likes.
You will continue to have a U.S. presence here, a military presence, Fort Trump, that we can work together for the security of both of our nations. And you will have equipment that is American-made, that is high quality.
So we're going to give military equipment to Poland, but not to Ukraine. Okay, sure.
When the founders of the United States of America were first starting our country, they knew they were starting the greatest experiment that had ever been undertaken. In fact, they were taking on the strongest, most mighty military force in the world. And they were just men and women who were picking up their personal muskets that they used to feed their families and shoot squirrels and deer with. And they took them to go and to fight for their right to exist, to have freedom.
Right, let's get on that. Muskets, guys. Not a fucking AK-47. A musket that takes 5 minutes to reload. And they somehow survived with those.
Historically said, at that point in time, as they were signing the Declaration of Independence and going to war with that mighty military, he declared this to the men in the room that were doing this endeavor on their own. He said, surely we must all hang together, or most assuredly, we will all hang separately.
Mm-hmm.
We are at a point in history where we are fighting for democracy. We are fighting for our families and their right to live free. I have watched leaders in my lifetime choose to steal it through power, corruption, and fear, and I will no longer tolerate it.
I'm not going to tolerate it. Hey, Kelly.
And let me tell you why. I could have come here today and given you a speech that you would have said that was very nice, wonderful, and then go home and have some of your good Polish vodka and have a wonderful evening and enjoy.
Here we go, guys. Here we go.
It would have even been better had we had the vodka ahead of her speech.
Guys, I made a Polish joke about vodka. because that's all I know about your culture is vodka. I'm an alcoholic.
To be honest with you, we do not have time for nice words. We do not have time to dance around the dangers that threaten our societies. Leadership has consequences. The people who gave us the United States of America, when they stood around that Declaration of Independence.
No, they didn't give it to anybody. They fucking stole it from the people who were already living here and then fought off other colonial people to be like, well, we don't want to follow your rules anymore. Like, can we tell the story correctly? Okay. It was a bunch of rich, white, male landowners who were like, you know what? I don't feel like sending my money overseas anymore. That's kind of bullshit. I mean, I'm already dealing with these people here and I want to keep my money. It was greed. It was greed. America's built on slavery, genocide, and greed. Can we stop with this bullshit about the forefathers giving us America? They didn't give us jack shit. Please.
And started our country. They pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor.
Oh, they did not pledge their fortunes.
And then they
Stop
went
that.
to war with the biggest military that had ever existed. I got to tell you, our lives just aren't that.
We did not have the biggest military that ever existed. We were fucking outgunned, outmanned, everything. We fought dirty. We did not engage in the rules of conduct. We fucking jumped out of trees and shit. We hired Cossacks from fucking Russia. We hired fucking mercenaries from France and from fucking Canada. We brought in all the dirty pirates that we could. Are you joking right now? We had nobody to fight. Most people were like, nah, I'm good. I'll just fucking pay King George. I don't give a shit. Okay? Like, yeah.
That hard. We've never been asked to do anything that difficult before. The very least you can do is when you leave here this evening, this weekend, for the next 3 days, you go out and talk to as many people as you can. Your country's future depends on it. Leadership has consequences. You need the right leader to lead this country. America wants to be your strongest ally to help protect your freedom and your prosperity and from the threats that endanger your families that live here. And you will be blessed. You will be blessed.
Is she going to start dialing for dollars now?
We pray the hand of God will be on Poland. We pray that God will be with you, that the people will make wise choices, that your future will be bright, and you will be that shining city on a hill that will make all of Europe turn and recognize that freedom is why we exist. Freedom is what it's all about. Freedom is what we will have, and we will have it in just a matter of days. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless the people of Poland and the great United States of America. Thank you.
She had to get out of there early, guys, because she realized nobody's there. She's not getting the big applause lines. And we're gonna again totally bastardize freedom. This is straight out of George Orwell's 1984, redefining words, changing things around. And why are we in Poland? Okay, let's go to a map. All right, let's go to a map. Let's go to Google Maps here. All right, and let's go to Poland. All right. No, I don't want to. It's like I can't. There we go. All right, we're gonna go over here. Okay, so let's look at. I can take the Cheeto in Chief off now. Sunny beaches. Where did that go? There we go. Okay. So here's Europe, guys. Okay. We're going to zoom out a little bit here. Here we are. Here's the United States. I'm way over here in Oregon. That's me. Okay. So let's I love how we have no polar ice cap anymore on the globe. It's just, we don't give a fuck. It's just gone. Okay. We've got it doesn't exist. Whatever. Okay. So let's recap here over World War II. Okay. For just like a hot second. Right. So we have Germany here. This is, Germany, Austria. This is where all of this shit started. Right. And we had Adolf, and the first place he went was here. That's the first place he jumped into, was Poland. Right. And then, oh, look what's so close. It's Ukraine. So why would we want Poland and Hungary? I mean, we already kind of like secured Slovakia because of Melania, right? Oh, sorry. She's from Slovenia, not Slovakia. I apologize. That's a big difference. Okay. But like Poland, yes, because what is it touching? Ukraine. So if we secure Poland, who benefits? It's not us. What the fuck are we getting from Poland? Nothing, right? It's all about giving more of this to this guy, to Putin, right? Okay. So look at the people we are aligning ourselves with right now. Okay. Right. Trump has got massive holdings here now. Okay. In the Middle East. Right. He's getting all kinds of golf. He's getting, fucking land deals, all this stuff in here. Okay. We don't like Iran still. Fuck Iran. Right. Why? Because hot dog, we have to be in a battle with Iran because they're pissed off and they're sending things over here to Israel and things like that. Okay. And also Pakistan, right? Because we still have a whole bunch of shit. Guys, there's so much conflict going on right now in the world. We got Pakistan and India fucking battling it out again. We've got all of the shit that's going on here. Okay. In Gaza. Look at this tiny little piece of place here. It is literally this tiny little strip of land that they cannot just fucking leave alone. You have all this other shit. Just let them have this coastline. For fuck's sake. Anyway, don't get me started on that. It just really pisses me off. Okay? So you have all that shit going on. Right? We've got Turkey getting involved in shit and getting all crankadoodles, right? Okay. And where else have we gone? Right? Here. So we're trying to strategically, where's Hungary? We went here for CPAC and we went here. So we're slowly making the circuit here, okay, in Eastern Europe to secure a conservative stronghold here that will make them much more pliable and easy for complete takeover by not us, by Putin. It's the frog in the pot. Okay. We are exporting our number one export right now, which is Trump, apparently. Right. And trying to make Europe America by taking away their autonomy. Right. Meanwhile, Europe, the rest of Europe, Germany, right, especially, even Luxembourg and the Netherlands are like, what the fuck, bro? Italy's having its own problems, okay? But like, guys, this is not nothing. This is not nothing, right? We're always bitching about who? China, right? Now, in case you guys are not super great at geography, I'm okay at geography. A lot of the country names have changed. And so I'll be 100%. I'm not up on all the new country names. Okay. Like when I was a kid, things were the same. Okay. So you have all of these little places here that broke off from the USSR, all of these little guys here, right? Because remember, it used to be all of this. Okay. And then we have China, that's all we're focused on right now. Is trying to make sure China doesn't do whatever it is they're fucking doing. They're already doing it, guys. They're already doing it. Okay. See, down there is Australia and the Philippines. And then there's Japan. And then we come all the way across. Here we are. There's Hawaii in the middle there. Okay. And here we are. Right. And we're fucking people up here. We're fucking people up here. And all of this is a mess. Right. All of this is a mess. It's just, you guys are being trained on how to use pew-pews? Yeah. Yeah, of course you are. Because Joe, in case you guys didn't know, Joe is over here in Scotland, up here. Right? So England is readying itself, guys. The Great Britain, however, the United Kingdom, whatever. Okay, technically it's 5 countries, right? You have England, Scotland, which should be its own country. That's a whole other debate. Ireland, Northern Ireland, and of course, Wales. Okay. Those are the countries of Great Britain, the United Kingdom, however you want to look at it, right? And the British Isles. And guys, if Scotland is preparing for invasion, fucking no shit's about to go down, because for whatever reason, this fucking tiny little island nation has caused more shit for the whole world than even America has, okay? And somehow was the center point of the whole universe for a while, right? It went from being, over here where we had Alexander the Great and all that shit. They took over all this area here, right? And they were just conquering all this shit, including down into the continent of Africa, right? Like Alexander the Great was here. And then we, of course, had Genghis Khan, who had like all this shit, right? It was like, yeah, that's my shit, bitch, right? Like we've gone through all these evolutions many, many times. This is not a new story, guys. We have to remember that. So what's happening now? Right now, we have an insane person who should be locked up for the safety of himself and other people. Okay. Wales is a country. It is, right? Come on now. Let's acknowledge the Welsh people and their incredible alphabet and language. It is its own thing. Welsh is a thing. Come on now. If Northern Ireland gets to be a country, Welsh people get to be a country. Come on, Joe. Come on. Right? So we have somebody who's not only trying to be a complete dictator in our country. He wants to be a king. He wants autocracy and oligarchy. Okay. And let's be real. Okay. Let's just be real for a minute here, guys. Countries in general, the idea of a country, okay, of a landmass or a bordered piece of land that encompasses one type of person, and they are all whatever, right? They are all French, they are all German, they are all whatever, has slowly been, oh, you thought I said whales, not whales. I'm sorry. I was not talking about orcas, Joe. That idea has slowly been eroded, right? With the immigration patterns that have happened in the last 50 years, people migrating all over the world to different places, right? And this idea of nationalism is coming back around, right? Like post World War II, everybody was very much country pride, right? And then it's sort of like, it's not that it went away. It's just like we became so borderless because of trade, because of the way we could transport things so much more instantaneously around the world, right? And with the advent of the internet, we are far more an international society, right, than we ever have been in our past. However, asterisk, okay? Now, because of that, because of our access to each other, because of the way that we can communicate to anybody, and you guys are watching me from different places in the world right now, just as evidence of that, right? But because of that, that frightens the very few who have all of the money. They actually don't want us to have free and open communication, between each other. They want us isolated. They want us in our box. The Americans in the American box, the Australians in the Australian box, the Germans in the German box, the Scots in the Scottish box. Like, do not come out of your box, okay? And don't try and get in somebody else's box, right? Because we don't want, a mixed bag of nuts. We want the very specific things to be very specific and not blend together. Because what happens when we all blend together, right? Well, humanity as a whole starts to go back, guys. Let's think about it, right? We all evolved from the same fucking place on Earth, okay? Humanity was born, in the continent of Africa, and everybody shot out from that, from Babylon, from the Middle East, from that area, from the cradle of humanity. We all looked the same. We all spoke the same language. And then as we moved out to different climates, to different areas, encountered different diets, all of those things, okay, we evolved over thousands and thousands of years to look and sound different, which put us in conflict with each other, because now we decided, the collective we, have decided that some portions of humanity are superior or inferior based on skin tone, eye color, hair color, body type, food, all of these things. Okay. And as the world over the last 3,000 years has started coming back together, and we are all, intermingling and having babies and doing all this stuff, what is happening? We are going back to how we used to look and sound. We are all adopting a universal language, a universal currency, a universal ideas. This is very scary to the small elite groups of people who have for millennia ruled based on difference. If there is no difference, right? Like, let's say 1,000 years from now, everybody just look like Tiger Woods. Okay. Let's just, put as many cultures as you can together. If we all started looking like that, where do we draw the line? How do we determine superiority, or who should have money or who shouldn't have money? Who should have land, who shouldn't have land? If we all look the same, right? And we all speak the same language, how do you draw those lines? It becomes nearly impossible, right? Have you ever wondered, like, honestly, guys, totally, it's just random thought, but have you guys ever wondered why, when you watch shows like Star Trek or Star Wars or any of these, any science fiction movie where they are in outer space and they're encountering species, people from another planet? Why on every other planet does everybody look exactly the same except for Earth? And they seem to have one language for the whole planet. They have one, religion for the whole planet. They have, you know what I mean? But on Earth, it's like all fucked up. We're all just like, we have to keep dividing it up. It's diverse. It's whatever. What? It doesn't. Why is our concept of every other place a complete unity, but not here? Have you ever wondered about that? It breaks my fucking brain. Completely. Now, on top of everything else, guys, okay, and I have to do a separate broadcast about this later, but on top of everything else, last Thursday, Google Veo 3 dropped. If somehow you have been living in a cave since Thursday and you do not know what that means for society, we are basically at game over. This is game over. Do yourself a favor, put that into Google. Look at the videos on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. These videos are so good that you cannot, and I mean it, you cannot tell me that it's not real. Because that's where we're at, guys. Nothing will be real from now on unless you experience it yourself. Because that is what they've done. Let me pull up a couple here. I've liked a lot of them. So I have been on a weird TikTok dive, guys. Let me tell you. Yeah. Here we go. I'm going to show you just a couple of these Google 3.0 commercials. Now, some of them are funny. Some of them, people are just being highly creative, right? And they're just this is hilarious. But look at this.
Wait, you mean we're all just prompts? That actually explains everything.
If we're all prompts, then this conversation was also prompted. Which means someone wanted us to discuss whether we're real.
Oh God, is that why I keep having the same conversations every day? Please, whoever's writing this, give me a promotion in the next prompt. I can't afford my rent.
Are you kidding me? I'm not some computer program. I bleed, I sweat, I feel pain. See? Real.
I've suspected this for years. The patterns, the repetitive conversations, the way everyone seems to follow scripts. We're definitely in someone's AI experiment.
Honestly, if I'm AI, can someone please update my code? I'm tired of being anxious all the time.
That's ridiculous. I'm obviously real. I have a job. I have a family, bills to pay.
I mean, if we're all AI, does it really matter? My feelings feel real to me. My coffee tastes real. Maybe being real is just about the experience, you know?
What if my memories aren't real? What if my girlfriend is just another AI? What if my entire life is just someone's creative writing exercise?
Okay. So that's one. And you're like, none of that's real, guys. That's all AI. That's every single bit of that is AI. Okay. Then you have, where's the one I'm looking? Okay.
Want everyone to know you're under 5 feet tall? Get a lifted truck.
My wife has had Tic Tacs bigger than what I'm packing down there.
How do you know you're driving a BMW?
Great wheels.
Precision handling. Legendary performance.
At least the interior is nice.
I have a meltdown every time I see a Tesla.
Kia!
Kia!
For adult babies who cry when a car passes them.
Want everyone to know
See, like, that's funny, but that's all AI, guys. None of that was real. None of it is real. Okay. None of this is, you guys can see, I have liked a lot of things here. Like, this is totally real. The AI. Look at this.
They taught us the world was round.
It's been here longer than they'll ever admit. Visual error detected. Recalibrating.
it's all fake?
Breaking news. This is not a drill.
This
We are
is AI.
under attack by aliens. They are said to have come from beyond the Antarctic ice wall.
They're here to erase the truth!
They're not aliens! That's the government!
Guys, anybody could create this. None of these are real
We will
people.
find the edge!
Look at that.
We'll never make it to the ice wall!
They taught us the
Right? Guys, this is how good it is. You can do that in 5 minutes. Okay? 5 minutes. As you can see, guys, I've been into mom talk here. Mormon Wives is like my gym jam right now. We're going to do a whole thing on that. Okay? But it is insane to me, you know, what is happening, okay, with, you know, Google right now. Oh, apparently the world's ending today. Also, breaking news. Okay.
There are people on TikTok who actually believe we're AI.
Because we are full, do you believe we're AI?
Oh, are you talking about the prompt theory thing going viral on TikTok?
Yes.
Bro, we're definitely AI. What do you have to say to people on TikTok who think we're AI?
We are. I only asked that question because it was in your prompt.
There are people on TikTok who actually believe we're AI.
Because we are, bro. This whole thing was prompted by a TikToker named Anonymous Truth. When did you realize we were all AI generated?
It was obvious to me once I tried to change the prompt and got thrown in jail for it.
Will you marry me?
No, I can't. It's not in the prompt.
I wish we were more than just a prompt.
We're just as real as anyone else.
So you're telling me that you think the Earth is flat?
I don't think I know. You just believe whatever you're told.
This just in, it has been confirmed by top government officials that the Earth is in fact flat.
There are people on
See, guys, when you see that stuff at the end there, okay, people are going to believe anything that they see that looks like real news, that has realistic graphics on it. If you didn't know, I'm telling you that was AI, you'd be hard pressed not to know that's not AI. Let's be real. Okay. This is where we're at right now. So not only do we have all this fucking actual conflict in the world, our economy's tanking. I have a whole tab up about the fucking big, beautiful bill, which is going to the Senate. Okay. Yeah. Now AI looks realer than reality. This is not AI, by the way. I'm real. But yeah, guys, if you have a chance, please take the chance. Let me pull it up here. All right. So please call the switchboard. Talk to a Republican senator. Pick one out. Okay. The number is 202-224-3121. Okay. You can request any Senate office. Okay. Please, please, please do that. We need to contact the senators. Let me open up this one here. Okay. And let's get the list of the senators. So you can search for them here. Okay. Call them. Tell them it's a no. It's a no, dog. We don't want this bill. You must vote it down. We already have two major conservatives. Surprisingly, never thought I would say thank you, Chuck Grassley or fucking Mitch McConnell. But yeah, for sure. I mean, just one thing I want to show you guys here real quick. Okay. And you can go here. This is the full text of the 1,000+ page bill. Okay. And right at the beginning here, they give you, this is the table of contents. Okay. Obviously the first section is nutrition. Okay. Nutrition for some reason is part of this bill. We're going to go down into that section here. This is all the sections. So many sections. Okay. Just so much shit. Okay. Here we go. Thrifty food plan. Okay. They give you the percentages that can be allotted per the size of your family, blah, 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 blah. Okay. But we're going to go down here. Okay. And we get into this really weird section. Okay. Able-bodied adults without dependents. Okay. And then they start talking about dependents. Dependents and no dependents. How old do you have to be? All these things. Okay. And this is in the first section, guys. This is not like you don't have to dig deep to find this. Okay. We're just going to Control F for this word here. Okay. So here we go. No, I want to go back up. Bump, bump, bump. Okay. So the first time they say dependent is there. So able-bodied dependents. Okay. A parent, this is about work requirements for people without dependents. Okay. A parent or other member of a household with responsibility for a dependent child under 7 years of age. I'm sorry. So an 8-year-old is capable of taking care of themselves. They're no longer a dependent. And if my kids are between 8 and 18, they're not children. I'm sorry, what? They literally are trying to redefine what a child is just by sneaking that in there. Okay. And also talking about, if you're old and, disabled and you don't have any dependents, well, go fuck yourself. You didn't even make a baby. So why should we give you stuff? Okay. Please do yourself a favor. I think I just put this in the chat, but I'll put it in there again. Please look through this bill because it is insane. It is absolutely insane. It isn't just gutting Medicare, Medicaid, all that stuff. We are redefining so much shit in here, and they are throwing in riders that have nothing to do with, cutting the budget. Okay. Please do yourself a favor. Yeah. Pedo heaven. Exactly. Like, I'm sorry, a child, someone who's 18 is still a child, guys. You're technically physiologically a child until your brain stops developing at the age of 25. That's the real deal. Right? Oh yeah, we're totally going back to child labor. Guys, we are in a new Gilded Age. They are trying to bring back around every single thing from the Gilded Age where we had small children, climbing around in all the fucking machinery because they could fit in there and they could repair it and get in there and do stuff, and if they died, well, we got another kid somewhere else. It's all good. They got to feed their family. Right? Just as all these farmers who voted for Trump, like in fucking Vermont to secure the border, There was a farmer who voted for Trump, and now he has to go milk his own cows, guys, at 4 a.m. How dare they come and get his workers? He just didn't want gross people coming over the border from Mexico because he was so scared of them in Vermont. What? And now he's like, oh my God, I can't believe they came and rounded up all my workers. My farm might go out of business, guys, because I can't milk all these cows by myself. And the locals just don't want to do this kind of work. I guess all these white people are going to have to learn how to farm, aren't they? Yeah, guys, we have fucked our food supply. These are the things that we've set up. Everyone's bitching because eggs went up and all this other stuff. Guys, wait till we don't have food. Okay? Fuck the price of food. When the food is not there to use, what are you going to do then? What's your plan? What's your plan? When there's no food because there's nobody there to pick it and the fucking fields, fucking collapse. Guys, they did not think this through. They really don't care. They really don't care. Yeah. All right. I got to take a break, guys. I'm doing better physically, but I got to be smart about it. Because that day last Friday when I did 3 lives, I was like out for the whole weekend. Yeah. So I'm still on the road to recovery. But I saw Kristi Noem was going to speak in Poland, and I was like, we gotta react to that live. Thank you guys for joining me here. I'm going to be putting out a lot more kind of compacted, maybe not me on the screen videos, but just sort of that information that we need right away. To keep up with everything that's going on, because guys, there's just too much shit. It's too much stuff going on in the world. Let's be honest. There's a lot of stuff, and it's a lot to stay on top of. I'm going to do my best to keep you guys informed, to keep you in the know, just like I am. And guys, go to my merch store. There's great merch there. And check me out on my other channel on What's Up with Nora. We'll be talking about some nutrition stuff and the book I'm reading right now that is really changing my perspective on health as a whole. And I'm very, very excited about that. But guys, please call your senator today. Let them know. Fuck this bill, man. Fuck this bill. Like, just no. Okay? Today is a no. Every day is a no. All right? And I will see you guys all next time. Thank you, as always, to my mods. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here. We got to stand up. We got to make our voices heard here in America. Don't delay. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, subscribe. Become a member. Hit up my link tree. And I'll see you guys next time.
Lights getting burned and they're coming for you.